The French and Indian War. The war pitted the colonies of British America against those of New France, with both sides supported by military units from their parent countries of Great Britain and France, as well as by American Indian allies. At the start of the war, the French North American colonies had a population of roughly 60,000 European settlers, compared with 2 million in the British North American colonies. The outnumbered French particularly depended on the Indians. The European nations declared war on one another in 1756 following months of localized conflict, escalating the war from a regional affair into an intercontinental conflict. The name French and Indian War is used mainly in the United States. It refers to the two main enemies of the British colonists, the Royal French forces and the various Indian forces allied with them. British and European historians use the term the 7 Years' War. Fighting took primarily along the frontiers between New France and the British colonies, from Virginia in the south to Newfoundland in the north. It began with a dispute over control of the confluence of the forks of the Ohio and the sites of the French Fort Duquesne, within present-day Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The dispute erupted into violence in the Battle of Jumonville Glen in May 1764, during which Virginia militiamen under the command of 22-year-old George Washington ambushed a French patrol. In 1755, 6 colonial governors in North America met with General Edward Braddock, the newly arrived British Army commander, and planned a 4-way attack on the French. None succeeded, and the main effort by Braddock proved a disaster. He lost the Battle of Monongahela on July 9, 1755, and died a few days later. British operations failed in the frontier areas of Pennsylvania and New York during 1755 to 57 due to a combination of poor management, internal divisions, effective Canadian scouts, French regular forces, and Indian warrior allies. The British colonial government fell in the region of modern Nova Scotia after several disastrous campaigns in 1757, including a failed expedition against Louisbourg and the siege of Fort William Henry. This last was followed by Indians torturing and massacring their British victims. Between 1758 and 1760, the British military launched a campaign to capture the colony of Canada. They succeeded in capturing territory in surrounding colonies and ultimately the city of Quebec. The French then seceded Canada in accordance with the Treaty of Paris, which was signed in 1763. The outcome was one of the most significant developments in a century of Anglo-French conflict. France ceded to Great Britain its territory east of the Mississippi. It ceded French Louisiana west of the Mississippi to its ally Spain in compensation for Spain's loss to Britain to Florida. France's colonial presence north of the Caribbean was reduced to its islands of St. Pierre and Miquelon, confirming Great Britain's position as the dominant colonial power in recent North America. So weapons used in the war are muskets and flintlock pistols.